There were four young sisters that was strip searched at a school in upstate New York. Now, these young sisters were 12 years old. Now, let me tell you why they decided to strip search them. Because they seem very happy and giddy. What's wrong with kids being that way? Okay, I don't understand that. If children are happy, children are energetic, wouldn't you want them to be that way? You want them to be withdrawn, not talking to anyone, just being straight weird, because we know what kind of people end up doing certain things in schools just based on the history that we have seen and reported on. So I would probably want kids to be just a little happy, don't you think? But they target these four African-American girls, okay? Now, they stated that earlier in the month, a school nurse and assistant principal at East Middle School in Binghamton told the children to remove their clothes while one girl was stripped down to just her bra and underwear. Now, I put up a picture of what they were showing in the article, how they did that. So as you can see, based on this graph, student A was made to remove shirt, pants, and second layer of leggings, searched in bra and underwear. Student B made to remove shirt and outer pants, searched leggings and bra. Student C made to remove shirt, searched in bra and pants. And student D searched in clothing, received in-school suspension for refusing to remove shirt and pants, and rightfully so. Now, you see there it says a student may, under current law and policy, be searched in a school building by an administrator. These searches involve an administrator requesting a student to empty their pockets, remove their shoes, and or remove their jackets. Let me say something about this real quick before I continue. How is it none of these withdrawn white males that shot up schools ever been searched? We never heard those stories about them being searched, showing up to school with trench coats, never be searched. But four black girls who are just happy, energetic, all of a sudden they're on drugs. They have to be. See, this is a criminalization of black children. This is why you have this school to prison pipeline. And this is why I keep saying, and I will say over and over again to black people, this is why we need to create Afrocentric schools. I do not hear black children in Afrocentric schools being stripped down to their underwear and panties because you're happy, because you got a little energy today. This is how they treat black children. The ones they need to be searching, they don't. And the ones they don't need to be searching, they do. This is wrong. The parents was very outraged. They stated they did not give consent to any kind of search at all of their children. And they said that if you're going to search them, they wanted to be present, which that is right, because that is a parent and those children were minors. Why parents wasn't called? Now, the local NAACP chapter, they want the people that did the searches fired because they did not call the parents. They just did this, violating their rights. Now, according to their statement, it said that they can remove shoes and jackets and pockets, but they didn't say nothing about stripping your clothes down. They're in some sort of prison cell. Now, the school said, no, we didn't strip them down. We didn't do anything like that. But yet four girls are saying this is what you did to us, and their stories are all matching up. Now, they say that this school is always dealing with some sort of racism as well. But it goes back to what I was saying earlier. It is our responsibility as black parents to protect our children. Story after story after story after story after story come out of the exact same thing. The humiliation, the racism, the racial slurs. Oh, we're going to have sensitivity training. Oh, we're going to be more diverse so this won't happen again. It's going to keep happening again and again and again because racism is taught in certain people's homes. Certain people pass down racism and white supremacy like an inheritance. So this is why when certain people, children can barely speak, they're teaching them the N-word. Why? Because they want to make sure that those little children that came here didn't hate anyone, make sure to infect their heart with that evil. This is why when little children go to school in certain communities, black children hear the N-word from them. Black people hear the word slave from them because they teach that at home. Now, they talked about, and we covered this, a Yale study which says black boys and girls are negatively impacted in bias by teachers even in preschool. And although they make up just 18% of kids in preschool, they comprise 48% of those receiving out-of-school suspensions. So the numbers are there. The numbers prove that our children do not fare well in public schools. They don't. They do not fare well when the majority of the administrators and teachers are Caucasian. It's just the truth. Because you have too many people who have racial bias. Some of them know they have it, and some of them, believe it or not, don't realize they are that way. Some of them are. Not all of them are consciously doing it until someone kind of points it out to them and say, hey, you know, you kind of having some racial bias. And like, I didn't realize it was that way. I just thought, you know, my thing is, as black people, we don't have that kind of time to have our children, you know, be put in that situation. You know, when are we going to take responsibility, personal responsibility for our children? You know, me on an individual level, thank God, I didn't put my child in that situation, my 4-year-old, thank God. But I can't be the only one, or the parents that send their kids to the school my daughter goes to, they can't be the only ones. We all need to take responsibility. And just as much as how people came together for Bunny and donated to her, and that's awesome, and I'm happy you guys did that, we need to come together the exact same way to create these schools. And if you guys are serious about doing something like that, I know people who got schools actually running, and I can sit down with them and say, give me a plan and everything, how we can get this done. And if we want to start creating schools, creating more models of this, then we could do that. I can get the people who has the schools set up and let them set up the GoFundMe's or anything else, because I don't want no money passing through my hands. I don't want nothing of that. But we need to start taking responsibility. They got plenty of brothers and sisters that got schools right here in this country. We need to make those schools bigger. Sometimes it may take some money to make those schools bigger. Okay? We need to do that. We have many great models in this country of Afrocentric schools where the kids are graduating early. The kids are getting college education sometime before they even get out of the schools. I mean, the kids aren't going to prison when they go into the schools. They aren't having race soldiers in the school bothering them. Because the black children were so horrible, even if they had an Afrocentric school, they would do the exact same thing they would do at the public school. So that means that there's nothing wrong with our children. It's just the environment they put in that's setting them up to fail. And the public school system is an indoctrination system into racism and white supremacy. It's an indoctrination system into being a worker ant, not you leading your own colony. We have to create our own schools and teach our children to create businesses so they can create jobs for people in the community. That's what we have to teach. And people are doing it every day, believe it or not, but these schools aren't given the shine. And, you know, I want to, and I will do this, start calling a lot of these schools and see if we can go visit these schools and bring our cameras to these schools and highlight the awesome job they're doing to let you know that we have plenty of schools in this country that were started by African Americans. They're doing wonders for our children. And even though we could show that, and I know many of you maybe don't even know that was in your city, want to flood that school, they can get to capacity, and you're like, man, I want my kid in that school. That's where it comes in and say, okay, we need to make these schools bigger. And that's what comes in, that we got to come together and open up their wallets. Because I'm sorry, black folks spend their money on everything. We need to start spending our money on educating our children and putting them in safe environments. It's our responsibility. This government not going to do that. You can forget that. It's our responsibility. And I know we can do it. If I saw just over 500 of you or so, close to 600 of you, donated over $24,000 to Bunny like this, then how much more if we can get a couple of thousand to put into these Afrocentric schools so our children could have a safe place to get their education and not being strip searched like they on like in some jail cell or on some plantation. Come on, black folks. We got to start taking responsibility for our children ourselves. But leave me a comment, let me know what you think about this particular story. I'm going to keep homing in on these incidents in schools because we can't let our children just be thrown out there like that and you wonder why they get in so much trouble.